All right, guys, finish up the questions for Coach Sides. Whoever has a microphone, go ahead and start. Alexa.
Hi, Coach. What did you think of just the team's performance overall, the positives and negatives, and then, of course, just Caitlyn in particular? It seems like maybe the first half and second half, maybe there's a little bit of a difference. What did you see from that vantage point?
Yeah, what I went into the locker room and talked about was just, this is a process, right? Like we just started practicing on Sunday, so they were pretty down. But they've got to understand, like we did some really good things, but this is when you fix things. Like you play these games so you can fix some of the things. We didn't do our pick and roll schemes on the side as well as we've been doing them. Got to work on that. Our transition defense, I thought we were okay. Late, we gave up some buckets late that really hurt us. Melissa Smith getting to the free throw line 13 times, that's a positive. I think we only had 14 assists, that can't happen. I think we missed some easy buckets that would probably put us at like 20 or 21, which is kind of more where we'd want to be. Overall, I mean, I thought Caitlyn came out. I mean, I'm glad she got some shots up. She was able to hit some big shots. But we're still flowing. I mean, they're still learning each other. I think she works really hard to get some shots that she doesn't have to work hard for anymore.
Chloe, go ahead.
Yeah, you've talked about the 26 close games last season, and this was another one of them. Just what changes do you think you need to make to get over the hump next?
Yeah, it'd be nice to have Katie Lou and Kelsey and Christy Wallace in that second half, and then Demiris Dantas when she gets here. That's going to help. But our goal was to play everybody tonight. Our goal was to make sure people got a look. There were some lineups that weren't great for us. We kind of went in a lull when we had that, but I mean, that was what our game plan was. Like, we wanted to play everybody tonight.
Front row on the left.
Hey, Coach. Just now, Caitlyn was saying that tonight it was because she had the 4 fouls. You had to rest her a little bit, but she was saying it might be nicer to not have to play quite as much as she did in college. But given how she started and how she finished, do you feel like maybe the rest, being on the floor, maybe benefits her more? Or are you how do you balance that out?
Yeah, well, that's just learning her, and I know that it got to a point early in the first quarter where she was gassed and she asked for a sub. That was awesome for her to do. A lot of players will try to fight through that. I've got to recognize that sooner before she gets to that point, because if I keep letting her get to that point, fourth quarter, she's going to lose her legs. So just got to, it's just a learning process, learning her, learning the rest of our team, and finding out who's playing well in which rotations.
Front row on the left there, so.
Coach, obviously there's so much expected of her and she's used to it. Is there anything that you have talked about with your staff to try to make this transition a little bit easier for her so she doesn't feel like she's got to do everything and be everywhere and be perfect and all that? Or is that just something that she's going to have to do?
No, I think that's kind of where we've had those conversations with her a lot. We're able to put some really good players around her, that she doesn't have to work as hard. I think one of the things that I talked about during the game, and it's tough in the middle of the game, but once you realize that if you become a good screener, you're going to get open, you're going to have some really, really good open shots. So that was one thing we were talking about in the game. But again, we're 5 days into this. We're 5 days in with a new point guard with Caitlyn, just trying to figure it out as well. And Dallas wasn't going to let her have anything easy as well, But she does expect a lot out of herself, and that is that's awesome. But she also has to know that we've got her back, and we're going to do what we can to help her out so she doesn't feel that way, because she doesn't have to.
Chloe.
Just going off Caitlyn asking for a sub, she's obviously playing a much more physical game now than she was in college. Just how did you see her work through that physicality tonight?
Yeah, I think she got to the point where she was just completely gassed. Like when she looked over me, I thought I was going to have to go grab her and help her get to the sideline right there at the end of the first. But, we have to do better. Like, we can't let her get to that point. She just won't be able to last. And the way people are guarding her, I mean, she's seeing a red, which is a double team. She's seeing hard hedges. Like, they're being real physical with her. That's how it's going to be for her. And so we've got to make sure we're doing what we can to protect her. So she's able to go in the fourth at the same level she is in the first.
Hey, Coach, one more. Seemed like the last play was set up, designed for her to get that last shot. How much do you expect to put her in that position, trying to hit those killer last second game winners? Yeah,
I mean, she's a player that has ice in her veins. I mean, like Arike was 0 for 6 from the 3, and then she hits, the game winner. But it's, we'll have Kelsey Mitchell out there who has that same ability, and that just changes how people guard you. I mean, when you have several options who can get a 3 off in 3 seconds, we'll have some different options to look at once Kelsey's on the floor with her, and so it'll be different. But I mean, that's who she is, right? Like she's someone who's confident that she's gonna make those shots.
We got last one on the second row.
You mentioned this. Caitlyn also mentioned this regarding the physicality. Do you see yourself using her in more off-ball screening so that she can get open without having to create off dribble?
100%. Like we started running some elbow actions where we were into some split games, and she was standing some when waiting because that's what she's used to when she gave it up to one of our elbow posts. So that's what we tried to explain. Like you can when you set hard screens, like you will get open if you are a good screen setter. So just learning like things that she's not done before.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.